المهم I hope this تجيك تسمع ندير هاد اللعيبة هنا بلاتي. المهم كي جيتكم الخوت كنبدا نقول ناري قالوا عنكم بروفيسور في يوتيوب او ماي جاد ناري قوتوها. So basically what we're gonna talk about is واحد الحاجة اللي سميتها the plasticity of the brain. بلاتي بس هادي عاوتاني بحال هكا بلاتي. او ماي جاد عرفتي بحال كنبان بحال داك اللي عنده عصا داك ليوناردو ماشي ليوناردو داك اللي كاين سلاحف النينجا. المهم so basically the subject ما عرفتش واش كنبان لنا ولا لا بلاتي نشوف. المهم I think كنبان انا كنت هنا يعني كنبان so yeah راسي كبير نقراكم عنه. So today's subject is neuroplasticity. شنو هي neuroplasticity؟ neuroplasticity راه هي واحد ما عرفتش دابا شنو باللونغ ولا بالعربيه. neuroplasticity بروبلي لان كيفهم شويه العربي ولكن ماشي كيفهم اللونغ ولكن ماشي اللونغ ديالي انا داير بحال شي هندي مي موضوع اخر هذا واحد النهار اخر. So what is plasticity? First when I get introduced this term, this word plasticity, I didn't know what the fuck it meant, especially when I was reading this book Your Brain on Porn. So basically neuroplasticity, after like 1 month of research and asking ChatGPT هادي تا I understand now. So what is neuroplasticity بوراس؟ neuroplasticity is واحد function كيديرو العقل بلاتي. neuroplasticity basically واحد هذا this is the brain. This is the brain. واحد origin I don't know where exactly, don't ask me, ask ChatGPT ولا ask Safari ما نعرف. There's واحد origin of the brain. It might be here, it might be here, it might be here, or it might be here, all the way down. This place is what is neuroplasticity? Neuroplasticity is the ability to learn from mistakes. The ability to learn from mistakes. I know you guys as people who don't read neuroscience books, مش ضروري any books but neuroscience books. يعني of course ولاش نكون offensive بحال هكا في يوتيوب. of course غنقول oh you're so good ولكن هنا فهمتي I'm telling you the harsh truth فهمتيني, because this place this 13 followers is just to get the harsh truth. Neuroplasticity, I will give you an example. Neuroplasticity in rats, there was experiment there was an experiment that's made in 2011 which they take a rat, this is a rat, and they place that rat in a box. And in this box which there is a place, there is a button where when you press it the door to go out of this box opens the way. So the rat at first gets introduced to this box for the first time. First thing the rat did is he just started like yelling, anxiety, he was anxious, like what the fuck is happening, this is not my place, like they're gonna fuck me up from the asshole, etc. But once he placed his foot or his arm into this point of which is in the box, a secret door opened and he ran away. And typically this experiment with their whatever animals, rats, humans, crocodiles, take usually a longer time than the 10th time or the 12th time. For the first time they put this rat into this box, it took him first time, let's say 5 minutes, it took them 5 minutes. The second time which they put that rat into the box. Mama, that's so fucking scary. Huh. Imagine your mom finding you out recording videos talking about pornography in English. It's so fucking shameful. Yeah. Maybe if you choose the path as me, you may experience this thing, and it's normal, when. However, it's another topic for another day. The right when you're gonna put him in the second time in the box, it's gonna take him usually 4 minutes, four and a half. The third time you're gonna put him into that box, it's gonna take him maybe around 3 to 2 minutes. Second time, that means the more you repeat the thing, the more you learn from it. And this is basically what is plasticity is about. Is the ability for the human or any creator is God, any creation to learn from his mistakes. And it has many terms like trial and error. It has like learn from mistakes, as we humans say. But most profoundly, most commonly, the common thing between all those terms is learning from mistakes. It has a huge role and mindset shifts, etc. Another subject for another day. Maybe I will talk about it in another day. But usually, um, the typically this term, uh, elasticity, is so crucial to learn from mistakes. Because if we think about it from a vast angle, a vast perspective, all the learnings, all the knowledge, all that shit that people hype up on, all the XY, it's all about trial and error. And the problem is the school system doesn't. They kill a fly with a fucking machine gun. You know. The fuck, wasting my life, wasting 15 years of my life just to learn about a fucking equation that won't help my erectile dysfunction problem, that would not help my sexual problems with my wife. Then my wife gonna shit with me with my fucking I don't know, my the neighborhood who's 20 years younger than me. She gonna came up to his house, not him coming for my house, and they're gonna have sex together. Why? Because my dick doesn't work. It's a huge problem for another discussion for another day. But most importantly, is this is what is plasticity. Plasticity is learning from mistakes. And the reason why I'm talking about this topic today in this video is because I was reading Your Brain on Porn, a book that talk about pornography from a neuroscientist perspective, and I was all the time moving by this term of neuroplasticity, neuroplasticity. I was all the time saying, "What the fuck is neuroplasticity?" I fucking hop on with calls. I hop on with calls with fucking I don't know, experts in this subject who are neuroscientists. I ask them, "What is neuroplasticity?" Neuroplasticity is just fucking cardiolitics should have them. Like I don't understand, bro. Just give me simple English. Simple English. Trust me. Tell me what is neuroplasticity. I didn't find somebody to answer me this, but by trial and error, the subject that we are talking today is the same thing that's helped me to understand this topic more. Neuroplasticity is learn from mistakes, and if I didn't learn from my mistakes, if I just said, "Oh no, English is so hard, I can't understand this neuroplasticity. Oh, I will change my business model. I will go to I don't know, like selling my food pics to Saudi Arabians." Hell no. This is trial and error. Trial and error is neuroplasticity. Is plasticity, not neuroplasticity. It's plasticity, which is as we said, the region in the brain that is responsible for your learnings from mistakes. And it is crucial. And the reason why I said it's so, the reason why I said it is so important to know this thing, especially from the mindset, the mental context, is because if you all the time, like let's say for example you spended your capital on a business, I don't know, drop shipping, I don't know, like some also bullshit, and you just lost your capital, you're gonna say, oh, I lost money, oh, I lost this, I lost this, but you didn't lose nothing. You just converted your time, into experience, and when you convert time to an experience, which is by, it's just like a sword. You took a sword. You want to make that sword sharp. You hit that sword. You beat the bitch. You beat the bitch out of the sword. Boom, 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 till it gets sharper. Not too much, not too little. Just in the right place. Just at its edge, where it is the point where you hit the fucking sword without when it's breaking out. At the same time, without making it soft, like thick, like this finger. Like if this thick like this finger, this one's got nothing, but it was so sharp to the point that boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? So we should never ever get get upset of failing all the time. Like there was a point in my life. I don't know, maybe 15 to 16. Like always like going by this thing, like try and error. Like I said, like I was saying, like, oh, maybe this doesn't work. I need to try something else. Especially with the business world. In the business world, we all the time say, oh, this is the best model. This is the best business model. This is the best business model. But they are all the same. The common thing that the common thing between them is you're gonna fucking suffer. Whatever way you're gonna suffer, you're gonna suffer. This is the important thing in business. When you choose something, not only in business, in life generally, when you choose something, don't don't choose all the time about which is the most one that gives you money, which is the most, like, just change, choose something that you not love, not your passion, but most importantly what you like to suffer of, what you like to um, wake up every single day. You know that damn well you need to record that video for YouTube, or you need to follow the stocks in the market so you know whether to buy or sell, or whatever you're gonna do. You gotta do it with a smile on your face. And the secret is really just choose one of it blindly, But most importantly is to have that fucking mindset that you suffer, but you like that suffering. It's like you hate life so much, you hate the universe so much, you hate people so much to the point that you hate yourself, and because you hate yourself, you work your ass up, not for making money, not for, like, I don't know what reason you working for, but just working because you hate it. I don't know. It's like your wife died and you just fucking doing cardio every single day, 10 kilometers. Not doing it for the body, not doing it, just doing it because you hate yourself. Maybe because you blame yourself for something. Maybe, I don't know. That time you told her to bring the milk and a bus hit her. Maybe something like that. Maybe something like that. But I don't give a fuck about your, because I didn't fuck her either. You didn't, because you have erectile dysfunction. That's why you're watching this video. Not my followers, but just people who, I don't know. Maybe this post will pop off and other people gonna see it. So yeah. Um. Fuck. I drifted from the subject that we were talking about. Fuck. I knew that I was drifting from the subject that I was talking about, but just love to talk about that. However, this plasticity, like we discussed now, what is plasticity? Plasticity is the ability to learn from your mistakes. And the common limited belief that most people have is the thing that we discussed today, which is, oh, this doesn't work, this doesn't work. But in reality, all the things works. But it's like you're diving a hole to find gold. Gold is here, and you start digging, digging, digging here, and you dig a little bit here, and you say, oh, this place doesn't have gold. I need to go to another place. You go here. Oof, 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 oof. You change it, like you fucking trying every single business model, trying every single woman, and you think that you're gonna find the perfect one. There is no one perfect, bro. Like only God is perfect. You need to love to suffer with. I don't know. Maybe your woman is disabled. Maybe your woman is, I don't know. Maybe she has a higher body count. This is another subject, because I won't like that either. Because it's a complex subject. But most importantly, like if you just choose one thing and you remove this and you didn't do this, you didn't go to the other businesses, and you just channeled all the wasted energy that you wasted on utter bullshit to here, you improve. And something else, even though um we're gonna drift from the subject, which is the reason why you feel like you're wasting your time, the reason why you feel like that what you're doing is it's not working for you. And this is because, Lakwa, this is because this is a graph that shows you how real success is. Like most people think that success is like this, but not really. Like from the perspective, from the angle of, let's say, for example, 10 years, 5 to 10 years from now, success, what really does look like is like this. You improve a little bit, you improve a little bit, you improve a little bit, and boom. And in this part is what people call success overnight. But it wasn't success overnight. It just um a set of habits that get compounded, and thus they gave us, and thus we see this skyrocketing. I'm gonna explain you guys how this really works. You see, this is an ice cube. This is an ice cube, When you take the ice cube and you put it in minus 20 degree, those are gonna melt. It won't gonna melt. Those are gonna melt if you put it in 19 or 18 or 17. It won't melt. Those are gonna melt at 16, 15, 14, 13, 20, 21, 20 till 7 Celsius. I don't know what they call. No, but once it hits a place, once it hits, for example, let's say between, like once it hits, um I don't know, to be honest, but once it hits like 33 Celsius, then this ice cube start to melt and become water. But before this place, this is only an ice cube. This is the temperature, and this is um the physical status, maybe. I don't know. I'm not good at English yet. I'm not good in English yet, but most importantly is, um you get what I mean, right? Things are getting compounded. Like at first it was one. First day it was one, second day it was one, third day it was one. You see it, like it repeats, but these things are compounded. This one, it becomes three. And the more you repeat it, the more frequent time you repeat it, the more it's compounded, the more you're more likely to make the ice to water. The more likely that you're gonna make your suffering to, I don't know, maybe you're gonna suffer in the both ways. But there's only two type of pains. I don't want to get into the fucking clickbaity reels. I don't want to talk about that shit, but you get what I mean, guys. So another discussion. I need to train myself to not get out of the subject. Maybe it is just because I didn't make a good script, to focus on them, to make my ideas like narrowing onto a specific thing. That's why I get talking about this and about that and about that. However, this was a good thing really to talk about. I don't know if you guys know this or not. Probably not, because you guys never ever read books. Maybe the linear thing, you may know it from reels, but not many people know that these things from reels is short attention span, small dick. However, we talk about neuroplasticity. What is plasticity? Plasticity is the ability of the human to learn from mistakes. we're gonna dive into the third thing, which is plasticity and plasticity and age. You see, there is a limited belief which says that when you are older, you learn faster than when you're younger. But in fact, it is the opposite. When you're younger, you learn faster when you're older. Why is that? Well, it's because of the thing that we just get into it today, which is plasticity. And I'm gonna explain you guys this thing in an easy, small, big, thirsty dick way. This is a cup. This is a cup of, I don't know, vodka. No, probably because when you put a bowl, plastic bowl into vodka, the bowl flows. I don't know. I'm not sure, but just to make it, perfect. Not logic, but just to make it perfect. You see, this is a fuck. This is a bowl, and this bowl is surrounded by sand, you know. Just imagine that the sand is filled of the cup. So this figure that you see, this cup that is filled with a bowl and sand, what does it represent? The bowl represents a learning, a new information, a new maybe skill, maybe new, just something that you learn, And I want you to see, guys, the length of the cup as the age, Let's say here is 0, here is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, all the way up till maybe 21. So, yeah. And from the other side, this place of the cup, the deeper the thing, I'm gonna say it like. So, this thing represents things very clearly. I'm so proud of myself because I could represent what I wanted to say in this thing. It's a simple example where I'm going to explain what is really neuroplasticity. Let's say, for example, this bowl that you see is a new language. This bowl is a new language. It can be whatever, a skill, a language, a way to work. It can be anything. This thing, when, as we said, when a 5 years old kid learn a language, he gonna learn that language faster than the guy who's 20, 21, 22, 23 years old. And why is that? Because The human brain. This is just my theory. I didn't research on that, but I'm gonna just explain you these things in a bro science way. As you know, guys, this is the brain, not a small dick. This is a brain. The brain composites with two things: conscious and unsubconscious. The conscious in the human's brain is 10% capacity, whereas the subconscious mind is 19 percent. What does this mean in this graph? What does this mean in this graph? Because what it means is when the kid is younger, when the kid is, let's say, for example, between 0 and 8 years old, his mind is not filled with many things. His mind is not filled with maybe traumas. It's not filled with um, um, learnings or skills. It's not filled with I don't know, overthinking. It's not filled with the mental frictions. His brain is not filled with the mental frictions. And when you have less frictions in your mind, the more space you got in your brain, the more likely it's gonna learn things in a small duration. See, guys? Does that make sense? And when you learn something new, at first it is consciously formed, but with enough repetition, it becomes subconsciously. Well, habits. No, wait. Habits at first they are formed consciously, and what that does means is me recording this video and explaining these things are so hard to me. Why? Because I didn't practice them enough, so they can become flowing subconsciously. If you see, guys, my body language is kind of awkward. My legs are like this. But no problem. Fuck it, I have big balls, so I can learn from my mistakes. Um, a habit at first it becomes conscious. And the more you repeat it, by the frequency, not time, the more it shifts from being here to here. And the more subconsciously a habit is formed, the easier it becomes. And what subconsciously means is without your consciousness. When you do something too much, too many times, let's say, for example, I don't know, maybe just going to the gym at first. It's not about the how hard it is going to the gym. I'm talking about you are in the gym, after you get used to just going to the gym, but not training in the gym. Let's say, for example, the first day you went to the gym, you just spent it a half an hour or 45 minutes, an hour, let's say, basically. And when you came to home, you feel like this 1 hour was like 10 hours or 3 hours, regardless of the pain that you're gonna feel after you train your muscles for the first time and you made these micro تمزقات for your body. It's gonna be so painful, but it's not about the pain that you get from after the gym. It's about how you mentally see things at first. At first, you see things so so معطلين بزاف. كتكون نتايا في اللاصال كتمشي كتريني، تحس الوقت ثقيل بزاف. Time is so heavy. Like 1 minute is like 1 hour. And 1 hour in the gym at first, like one day, the first session in the gym is like 10 hours session. But after you get used to not going to the gym, but after you get used to training the weight, the specific exercises at the specific time at the specific place for many, many, many times, which means that the fucking habits becomes from conscious to subconscious. The fucking 2 3 hours at the gym feels like a fucking half an hour, or if you exaggerated it, it becomes just like a fucking 45 minutes session. You know? And that's basically how things works. And in our context of plasticity, the more the fucking skill, the more the more a language, the more a habit is close to the baseline, to not the baseline, but to the base of the cup, the easier not you're gonna form it, but the easier you're gonna learn from it. But the more away the time you get introduced to the wanted habits that you wanna learn, which means in a late age, the harder it is to learn or to amplify what you learned in a small duration. Forget about these points, the black points. These are like, let's say, for example, other skills, other skills. These are other skills. And this is gonna make the explanation so easier. The more a skill is close to the baseline, to the moment you're born, let's say, for example, 1 year or 2 year, or between the range of 0 to 10 or 20, not 20, but 18 years, the easier to learn. But the older you are, the above 20, 30, 40 you are, the harder you're gonna learn from it. Why? Because time flies. Like every single second you go up, 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 up. And when you go up, 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 you be here and you introduce a new skill you want to learn. So it becomes here. You see the major difference? It's so distant from your baseline. The bigger the thing, the harder the thing. But when you see a habit like this or like this or like this, you see, it's easier to be formed. Why? Because it's so close to your baseline. It's so close to your baseline, which is basically the more closer the habit that you get introduced in a small, the earlier you get introduced to an habit or to one skill, the more rate you got for your advantage to learn that thing easier and perform it well. But the older you are that you get introduced to the habit to do it, the harder it is to learn this habit easily, which is a 10, 20, 30, 40% maximum that you're gonna learn something. Not you won't learn it, but it will be less easier than learning it when you were younger, you know? So basically, this is, I'm so proud of myself because this thing, oh God, I swear to God, I didn't learn this thing in any place. It's just me in my mind, boom, 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 ideas together, and I formed this thing. Well, the relation between this thing and this thing, I'm not sure if it's this is the main reason for this or this is the main reason for this, but it just doesn't make sense. We don't care about logic, we care about the outcome. If you learn this thing, whether it is right or wrong, does it matter if it's right or wrong? If it's worked for your advantage, does the outcome matters less than logic? Do you care about do you care about being in a group of small dick-minded people that only discuss TikTok trends? Do you want to, like, do you gonna settle for them just because you don't have friends who can push you forward? You can just be that type of person and people will attract to you, especially people who are like-minded people, which is gonna be in a higher standard. I didn't explain it very well, but you get what I mean, bitch ass nigga. So this is the point that I explained here. And what we talked about here now is the relationship between age and neuroplasticity, which is learning. Next, I'm gonna just talk about a little story where I learned this thing. As I said, I learned from a book, but the book didn't introduce it well for me. But the thing is, what gets my attention is something. You see, there was an experiment here. There was an experiment here which talked about people losing attraction to their real their real the real partners. There was an experiment that was formed in Japan in French to it's like a interview with the mass majority of people there between the age of 18 to 40, 50 years old, and they ask about their daily activities, their how sexually how sexually they're active, how do they got like erections around the day, how many erections they got around the day, and this experiment was made in 2 years, 2008 and 2010. So this experiment was we did in 2008 and 2010. Maybe I need to do this thing. Boom, boom, boom. All right, that's so fucking cool. Let me use this. 2008, 2010, and the the people who joined this vast experiments around the world, there were men, but three groups. Group number one was people between age 18 till 24 years old. The second group was between 25 till 37, and the third group was between 40 and 45. So as we said, guys, these men were asked about their how they are sexually active and their pornography consumption, how much they have in the day, how much, etc., etc., many things. And what they found basically is, well, let me just write faster so I can explain to you. 18 42 نقوم فلوس شحال 17 17 صار 20 صار واحد حلو هذا. Alright, guys, so before we dive into this graph, I want to talk about something. When porn was introduced to the fast internet era, porn was popular in 2011. Like it is the rise of pornography, 2011, and before that, between like the before 5 years, it was like known, but not in a way that is skyrocketed. So as we see here, guys, um, here are people between here are just adolescents, teenagers, semi-teenagers and teenagers, 18 till 24. Here are adults, and here are like semi old people, And what I want you guys to notice is between 2008 and 2010, like from 2008, people who are younger were 17.5% of men around the world were less sexually not sexually active, but they just didn't have no interest in women. They just they just didn't have no interest in women. They were asked, do they do they find women interesting? They say no. But when they ask about their masturbation consumption, they say that they are masturbating 2 times, 5 times a day while watching porn. If we subtract 28 from 17, it's 11% jump. You see, the second group of male were between 25 and 37, 73. They were also asked about how they are sexually active. They were time to time watching porn, they were time to time watching porn. These people always, always, not all of them, but people who were equipped with high internet and a PC, they were all the time watching porn and masturbation. People between 25 and 37, they were like having like semi responsibilities, little kids, etc. And they said that they were time to time watching porn, time to time, every like I don't know, every single month. Not really pornography. They were just watching magazines. Magazines. Uh, they wasn't affecting people as much as pornography addiction. When you get introduced by pornography addiction, you will not, you won't go out of pornography addiction, especially in a earlier age, without getting hooked, without getting addicted to pornography. Whereas when you are just watching like magazines, like a book, whereas like naked women, like it's not that stimulating. It doesn't causes like erectile dysfunction or like premature ejaculation. Only if you condition your brain to ejaculate as fast as you can, so no one can catch you masturbating. If we subtract 15 from 21, it will give us a 6% jump. 40 people are between 14 and 45 years old. They will also ask how they are actively, how they are sexually active during the day. Um, like do they get erections time to time? They didn't get erections because of maybe like it's not normal, but maybe because they were watching magazines and the extra stuff. They were like they didn't have like strong erections, um, and they were like forming like a loving. And these people, they weren't talking like triangle. And people who are between 14 till 45 years old, they were like, you know, they're old, don't have that energy. They don't have the power that they used to have. They don't have like morning woods as they used to have. So, the jump they made is 8%. Now, I just didn't do the math, but the more you're older, the less you're gonna be interested in that stuff. So maybe forget about logic as we said and focus on the outcome. Nothing happened. All right. So did you guys see something here? Like, as I said, don't focus on the logic. Forget about something called logic, because this is a real experiment. But I forget about the numbers, so I just tried to make it, you know. So basically, these people, men around the world, they were they were interviewed by this formal experiment to see if men are still active sexually or not. And they did this experiment in two separated years, 2008 and 2010. What they found is, especially with the rise of pornography, that adolescents, people who are teenagers, had a terrifying, uh, a scary, not improvement, a scary. increasing and losing attraction to real people, and it was to the point that they think they are asexual, which is basically means they don't find no man, no women attractive. They just like you know, and people are between 25 and 37, 73. They made like these two groups, 2 and 3, they are kind of similar. There's no big difference between like 6 and 10% skyrocketing. Like it's like only 5%, but 21 and 11% of men around the world comparing to the adolescents around the world and men around the world is so fucking terrifying. It gives us a question: what the fuck is that, bro? This doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Why? Because of the fucking thing we just talked about, nigga. Just the thing that we talked about, bro. What we said? We said that neuroplasticity, the earlier you learn something, because like we did discuss something we forgot to discuss, is the human nature is always seeking survival. You always want to survive. You know, and this is just something that is so tied with our deepest motivation, with our deepest needs, which is sexual sexual interactions and love, sex, sex, just sex. There's no love. And you know, as I said, the younger you are, the more likely you're gonna learn things. But the older you are, the less, not the less likely, but the harder. Easier, harder, older, younger. The younger you are, the easier you're gonna learn. But the older you are, the harder you're gonna learn. Why? Because the neuroplasticity, as we said, it gets like this is the baseline, and you get accumulated through experience, consciously or subconsciously. You all the time train yourself by repetition. You all the time train yourself to be conditioned to be a voyeur, a someone person who just sits in a chair and just looking out at someone fucking his wife because he can't get stimulated by just fucking her directly. He rewired his brain to see someone else who fuck his wife. You see how, guys, this is so terrifying nowadays. This is basically the thing, you know. This, I don't know. Just they wanted to add this circle to look like perfect thing. Well, this is the reason. This explains the fucking scary the scary skyrocketing, the scary jump of men from 2008 2010. They were fucking 17 and now they are 28. Like, it's completely closer to the half of population. Whether now, what if we think about 2024? It's more. It's more, bro. There's new genres. There is new scenes. There is no tube. There is new genres, bro. Like, this is so fucked up. There's like people fucking watching cartoon, bro. Not even real person. There is nothing else to fuck unless this fucking wall and fuck it like this, bro. Like, things are just so fucking scary. I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna fuck this pencil. I'm gonna fuck this pencil. I'm gonna fuck it. The stranger, the better. Novelty. People all the time searching for novelty. People always searching for novelty. If I wasn't thinking that I won't talk about new things when I'm gonna record videos, besides that recording videos is hard, I wouldn't do it because I'm searching for novelty. Why do you think people love to get punched in the face in the UFC? Because there is new opponents, there is new skill, there is no movement that you're gonna try on somebody. You can double him leg, you can fucking cross him by the elbow, but this is why we are here in life. Novelty. We love in novelty. We love to experience, to taste new flavors of life. But if things gonna be all the time the same, you're gonna fight the same person. You're gonna, I don't know, the teacher gonna talk about the same thing, this and this and that and this. And by the way, this is completely different from routine. Routine is for a sake, and novelty, like routine from a perspective of habits, it's for a big goal. But routine from the sake of, never mind. So basically, this explains why this high scary jump. And as we said, the human learn from trials and errors, which means that it's formed consciously or subconsciously. Do you think people love to get addicted to things? People just love to smoke that joint and not smoke it whenever they want, but they can't because they are hooked. Why? Because neuroplasticity. Because as we said, the human always search for a way to survive. When he's feeling stressed, when he's feeling like negative emotions, he all the time search for a solution. The brain is right to find solution for problems. For not exactly horniness. Watching too much porn doesn't mean that you are a horny guy. Doesn't mean that at all. What it means is you got a problem, and instead of fixing that problem from the drastical place, you just get to you just fix the addressing symptoms, and this won't get you any further, if you get what I mean. The human always searching for solutions, you know, whether this is formed consciously or subconsciously, and the question is asking himself, like, he said, "What the fuck you are doing right now? I'm so tired. How the time? What is the time now? Holy fuck! 1 hour recording the fucking bullshit that no one gonna see it. Nobody gonna even watch this video full. Like no editing, no nothing. I don't give a fuck really. And I think this is what I wanted to talk about. Neuroplasticity. Why I'm talking about this? The importance of neuroplasticity. You don't really need to get so educated in this thing. What you need is just to what you need is just to be aware of it. As another example we can say is the human always preferred to be wrong with a tribe rather than being right alone. We cannot deny this thing because it is something from our nature, and it has a purpose. Because back then, people forming tribes like the like people like this. If you're gonna be alone all the time, then a predator gonna eat you, or you won't have access to resources. And most importantly, the deepest motive in human is, which is reproduction. They won't have access to reproduction because they are not with no tribe. There is no women. What they gonna fuck the animals? They're not right for this unless they see something. Somebody does this and he will do it too. Which is the first person, which is the devil. I don't know nothing, but what I know is لعيبة مقودة دي. What what I know is just being aware of this thing, which is the human. The human prefers to be um like a person prefers to be wrong with a tribe rather being alone. The fuck I'm doing right here now? Like what the fuck? Like a person prefers to be wrong with a tribe rather than being alone and right. And just being aware of this thing is is enough because you're gonna feel like you're missing on something, but just being aware of this thing, this fact that we always seek tribes and we don't care about their values or because they were made experiments where they teach a monkey how to open an orange in an effective way, and when they took the individual monkey and put it in a tribe of monkeys, and this tribe of monkeys, by the way, they were opening the lemon, the orange in a less effective way, and because the monkey were living with them, he just adapts the less effective way, even though he knows that the first way was much effective than the one there. But if he wanted, like as a human, we interact right with words. But if he wanted to tell something right, logic, but people just follow everything they hear, then it's hard to convince them whether what we are talking about is right or wrong. I think I finished for today. I hope you guys that you just get an idea of what I wanna explain here. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry because nobody did fucking watch my video. But if you skipped all the things you see here, just want you to know that you're a bitch, and at least thank you because you can see this part of the last video. I hope that Instagram has this option that you can skip through. You know, yeah. I hope also that I can post this video full. Nah. Yeah. زين